good evening. Reporting live from my natural habitat again. It is a beautiful 74 degrees outside right now. We are easing our way into the fall, and I'm very happy and excited about that. I'm a fall, winter baby, girl, woman, all the things, person. Um, I'm okay with like 4 weeks of summer just to sprawl out on the grass. Besides that, you can have summer. I have no care for summer at all. It's, for me, it's just overstimulating. It's a lot. I resonate more with fall, winter energy. Love the fall. Love it, love it, love it. But, anyways, um, so I'm being guided to speak on navigating the number 6. And it makes sense. It's very much in alignment because I have very strong 6 energy. And I am navigating the energy of the number 6 on a daily basis. The number 6 shows up in 3 very prominent places in my numerology. And because Venus is one of my ruling planets and the number 6 is ruled by Venus, there's a cohesion there as well. So I'm going to share things about information on the number 6. This is from firsthand experience, living, learning. This is also from my studies. I'm going to share some attributes and overall themes of the number 6 and just navigating this energy. And as I share this information, it's based on the premise that there's some basic understanding of numerology. I'm not going to go into the basics of numerology here. I'm just starting from talking about the number 6. But if you have the number 15 in your life, or say that's your birth number, or the number 24, those two reduce to the number 6 as well. So there's that energy. You carry the number 6 energy. Okay, so the number 6. I have narrowed down the overarching theme and identity of the number 6 to the nurturer, which you will see other people talk about as well. The nurturer. Also, the caregiver, the healer. Those are like the 3 common identities that you might hear of for the number 6. But I'm just going to say the nurturer. So some attributes of the number 6. There is a big, what's that dog? A cane corso? I know I'm not saying it correctly, but if you know your dogs, you know what I'm talking about. The corso dog. There's one in the park, and the owner has it off of its leash. I love dogs. And he seems very chill. But the dog is like, the owner is throwing a ball. Right now, the owner isn't even looking at the dog. And anyways. So some attributes of the number 6. Healing, nurturing, responsibility, the home, family, service to others, the caregiver. And then because the number 6 is ruled by the planet Venus, the attributes of the planet Venus can also tie into the number 6. The number 6 is also associated, or can be associated with, like the arts, artistic endeavors, or creativity, which is associated with the planet Venus. And love. Okay? So when you have the number 6, I'm speaking specifically to, I guess, like prominent, strong 6 energies. Because when you have, the stronger the energy, the more influence a number or a planet has on you, the more prominent it shows up in your life, in your chart, in your, in your makeup, the more prone you are to its negative attributes, okay, to its downfall. So I'm speaking to that, right? To if you have very strong 6 energy. Now, we all encounter all of the energies of all of the numbers 1 through 9 and 11 and 22 regularly because they're constantly in rotation. So every 9 days you come across the number 6. You'll have a 6th day. You'll have a 6th month. You'll have a 6th cycle. You'll have a 6th period. You're going to come across this number at some point. And so, again, the more prominent the number is in your makeup, the more emphasis, or the more chances of you, the more difficult it is for you to navigate, and the higher the probability of you falling into its negative attributes. The more difficult it is for you to navigate, like I just said, but the more work you have to put in, okay? The stronger its influence is. So some things that can come up when you have strong 6 energy: you can be prone to overgiving, okay? Because you have a natural tendency to give. The number 6 carries the energy of being a nurturer, a caregiver, a healer. And so you just want to give. I see this. I've encountered this. I live this. You just want to give. So you can become prone to overgiving. You can end up losing yourself in the process as you be of service to others, as you give to others. You can end up over-sacrificing yourself, because the number 6 does carry an energy of selflessness as you be of service to others, but you can end up over-sacrificing and self-sacrificing. Another thing I wrote down is you can end up being taken advantage of because you have such a big heart, and because you want to give so much, and especially if you have any other placements in your makeup that attract like parasitic and energy vampires, you can end up being taken advantage of because you just give. You give. And so the lessons that come with the number 6 are self-care, making sure you're pouring into yourself, pouring into your cup, because you can't pour from an empty cup. I live this on a regular basis. It is like a constant challenge, yes, but it is something that you have to be very intentional about. Very intentional. You have to learn to not overgive. I had a situation with this just yesterday. My mom. So I take on the caregiver role in this lifetime with the number 6, right? And so first it was with my dad, now it's with my mom. So, but my mom, I think it was yesterday, she was having an issue with the TV. We just switched to Roku. There's only one TV. She watches TV. I don't need a TV, so there's no TV where I am in the house. But TV is her thing. My mom is 73 years old. She ain't changing, right? Her TV is part of her routine. She watches the news, all of the stuff they should not be watching, right? The news on a regular basis. But anyways, and so we just switched to Roku because we had Verizon, Fios, and they switched to a new cable box a few months ago. Not very long ago, maybe in April. Maybe March, April, May, sometime between then. But since we got that new cable box, every other week, I promise, every other week, there would be an issue with the box. It would just go blank. And it's not anything that was able to just be fixed and good to go. It was always happening. The TV would go blank. So my mom is calling out for me. So I have to like unplug things, plug it back in. I'm sorry, the dog is still running wild. Plug out things, plug it back in every other week. That is exhausting. On top of everything else that, that I have to deal with. And I'm like, no, we got to do something about this. It's not sustainable. My mom just needs her TV. Like, what is going on? So, and then I also thought, okay, if we can get rid of the cable box, because a lot of people don't have cable anymore. It's just because that's what my mom is used to. We just kept getting cable. So I called Verizon. We canceled the cable, got rid of the cable box. Next day, I had to take her to Best Buy, look into getting a TV. And I have not had a TV in years. And so I'm unfamiliar with how everything is a smart TV now and all of that. But I catch on to things quickly. I'm just not very much involved in, the new things, technology and everything. But I catch on very quickly. So, and I'm technologically savvy. I'm just not immersed in it. I'm very much, as you can see, pen and paper. That's how I am. But anyways, so we get her a Roku TV. I asked the guy, can she have access to the regular channels? He says yes. Get home, then I discover we need the antenna. So I go back to Best Buy to get mommy the antenna. I set up the antenna, but now with the antenna, she's encountering static at times for whatever reason. And so that's what was happening yesterday. The sun is starting to set. That's what was happening yesterday. She's sitting down to watch the news and she's just getting so frustrated. And so I go in to help her. I just got home from work, by the way. So I go in the room to help her. I start fiddling with it. It's good to go. As soon as I step away, it's messed up again. I go back, it's good. As soon as I step away, the TV is messed up again and she's frustrated. And so I found myself in this predicament where I had to stop and I had to talk to myself and just say, you have to let it go. You have to let it go. You cannot allow this to consume you, because I wanted to, the six in me, the caregiver, the fixer, that's the other thing, the number 6, you have this desire to want to fix everything, help everybody, run to everyone's rescue, because you want things to be balanced and you want everybody to be happy. You want people to be good. You want everything to be good and leveled. And so when things are out of balance, it really affects you. But some things you just have to let go. And so I had to just step back and just stand there. And I just had to step away. I stepped away. I did not go back into the room. And I just had self-talk and said, you have to let it go. It's either going to resolve itself on its own, or mommy's just going to have to find something else to do right now. It's not the end of the world that she cannot watch the 6 o'clock news right now. You have to step away. You have to take care of yourself. Because if you weren't here, what's going to happen? And you have to go do what you need to do. You need to take care of yourself. It's okay. It is not life or death. And so I let it go. And I just refocused on myself, took some breaths, and she was fine. Next thing, I guess the TV resolved on its own. I don't know what happened, but I do know that the world didn't come crashing down. My mom was fine. Everything was fine. So I know that was a long-winded example, but I just wanted to share that. Other lessons of the number 6. stressing the details, which ties into what I was just talking about, wanting to fix everything. There's, I believe the number 6 is also associated with Virgo. Virgo is the 6th sign, and Virgo tends to focus on the details, very detail oriented. And so that's just astrology related. But the number 6, you can be prone to wanting things to be perfect. There's a perfectionism attribute there. And when you have to take care of others and make sure you're not losing yourself in the process, you have to let that go. You have to stop stressing the details. Everything can't be perfect. And then, last but not least, I'm going to say boundaries. Boundaries is a huge lesson associated with the number 6. You have to learn to set and enforce boundaries for your sanity, for your health, for your peace, because when you think about it, when you're the caregiver and the nurturer and the healer, and you have the responsibility of taking care of everyone else in the home and all of that, if you go down, everything goes down. The whole thing goes to shit. So you have to take care of yourself. But not just for that, you have to take care of yourself for you too. That is a huge part of it. A huge lesson of navigating the number 6 is taking care of yourself, pouring into yourself, self-care. And part of that is setting boundaries, learning to say no, prioritizing rest, prioritizing your needs as much as you can to keep things in balance, in harmony. Some other things about the number 6. This video is getting really long, but some other things about the number 6. Just some service, some roles that might be associated with the number 6 in terms of jobs and careers. So service-related roles, like a doctor or a teacher, a therapist, a social worker, healing roles, even law, because law is associated with harmony and balance. And I'll even go further to say, like, because there's so many different areas of law, you can like really narrow it down. If you have that strong 6 energy, you might be called to like family law, or, you know, marriage and divorce law, you know, something very, oh, hello, hi. Dogs came over here. Something very, very specific and geared towards like home and family and nurturing and being of service to others in that respect. Okay. And I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to get too long-winded, but I'm going to leave it there. I have some other topics that I'm guided to talk about, like the number. I'm not going to share yet. I'll just record them. But some more numbers and planets that show up very, very strongly in my life. So again, I can speak on them from a first-handed perspective, living it, going through it. But that is navigating the number 6, the nurturer. It comes with a lot of responsibility. Oh, and the common theme that you see with navigating the number 6 is that it's a role, the caregiver, the role of the caregiver, the nurturer. You see it as being bestowed upon you. It's not something that you choose, it chooses you. And so this can play out if you find yourself having to take care of elderly or sickly parents, right? As in my case, I had to take care of my dad first, And now my mom and my dad was in my late 20s, and now my mom in my mid 30s. And also I see this with if you have a child that's severely special needs, right? Because you may have chosen to have a child, but having a special needs child isn't something that is chosen, right? It's something that happens. And then I see this. Like, this is from like having a family member with a special needs child. It's automatically you fall into that caregiver role. You automatically have somebody that you have to take care of more than the average person, right? More than the average child. You can also see this if you were, or like I said, a child or an adult. I said an adult having to take care of an elderly or a sickly parent, but even if you had to start taking care of your parents from a child, you see that sometimes. Another way this might show up, if you have a spouse that falls terribly ill, and then you end up having to take on the caregiving role. It just all boils down to, it's not something that you choose, it's something that chooses you, the caregiving role. It's a responsibility that's placed on you, where the majority of the work, if not all of it, falls on you. And so it is a lot. It's not a light energy to navigate at all. It is not a light energy to navigate. It requires sacrifice. And I don't want to dive too much into that, but that's the number 6. That's navigating the number 6. And on a regular, like, day-to-day basis, if like on a lighter note, you might see this, or you can see this when it comes to having to take care of the home, or like chores, bills, responsibility, in that sort of way. And again, the more amplified this energy is in your chart and in your makeup, the more of it you'll have to do. I'll use myself as an example. So, like, right now, I play a very pivotal role in my mother, looking after my mother, making sure she's good. My mother is a homeowner, right, who has tenants, right? So all of her responsibilities also fall on me. So it's like you're taking on double the responsibility, and that ties into the home as well. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it there. 23 minutes. I hope I didn't bore you guys. Take care.